Well, hi YouTube land. First of all, before I get into the video real quick, thanks again for the folks that subscribed. Hi, welcome to the channel. The subscriber deal has slowed down a lot, thank God. This is what? This is the 1st of June, so happy June to everybody. At least it is for me. Last May, back in May, first 3 weeks of May, the man buns over at Google, for some reason or another, threw my channel into their crazy algorithm, and it goes out to like all kinds of people. And I was getting like 500, 200, 300 subscribers a day, and I went from 5,000 subscribers to 13,000 subscribers or something like that in 3 weeks. And I really appreciated that, but it was a tad overwhelming. And so the comments were coming in, and I was trying to keep up with that, and the internet was going down, and brownouts were happening, and I was trying to learn how to live stream, and I was managing to screw that all up. So anyway, I'm glad that you're all on board with me here. But again, I got to tell you, I'm glad it slowed down, because to be quite frank with you, it's never been my intention when I started my little YouTube channel to be the biggest YouTube channel or the most popular or anything else. I'm very repetitive about this, but since there are a lot of new people, I do YouTube for myself. I'm very selfish. This is a little video diary about my life, and I want to be able to look back on it. So that being said, I've made a lot of different friends on YouTube and via the comments, and then they friend me on Facebook, and I've had some really good interactions with a lot of new people. And one person that I really like is a guy named Gary. I won't use his last name because I don't know if he wants me to, but he made a comment on my last video, and I'm going to excuse myself because I'm going to look down. I'm not going to be looking at you. I want to read his comment out loud, and then I'm going to do my video based on his comment, okay? So here we go. Life is definitely looking up for you too, and I couldn't be happier. This is from Gary. Now, with that said, I have a question, probably worth a video. How has your YouTube channel affected your outlook on life and your views of the present and the future? I've been a subscriber since last fall, when you had just a few hundred subscribers, and even I could do a YouTube on what changes I've seen in you, but I would love to hear it from the horse's mouth. You could even include Baby May, as I remember the day she was totally camera shy. She is anything but these days. Like you mentioned at the beginning of this video, you are having a hard time replying to all the comments, emails, and messages you have received. That's the cost of success, I think. You didn't have that issue last fall. Interested in hearing how your lives have really changed through social media the past few months. Keep up the great videos. Well, thanks for that, Gary. I think that was a very to be honest with you, Gary, I'm more interested in the changes you've seen. Because to be honest with you, I haven't noticed a great change in myself. I've seen more of a change in Baby May. However, as life progresses and as I progress, there are changes that take place, and one reason that I'm so glad you sent me that message is that I've been thinking about it for a couple of days since you sent it. And I thought, you know what, I have changed. I just didn't notice. I couldn't see the forest for the trees. And so I think that the biggest change that I have noticed is how my gratitude level has raised. And an example of that would, and it's kind of like I get reaffirmation or positive affirmation from people who make comments similar to the one that you just made, that what my videos do for some people, not all of course, but for some people, is relatable. And that if I stay true to myself and I stay honest and I talk about my failures and I don't give advice, at least I try my best not to. I think sometimes I slip up and do that. But, and I just let my viewers draw their own conclusion at the end of my story, as opposed to me telling them what to think. They just think all on their own. Baby May is the one that I've seen the biggest change in that, as you mentioned, she was super shy. And somewhere along the line, she came into her own. For those that don't know her, Baby May, my girlfriend, is 34 years old and led a very sheltered and conservative life. And she has this really solid set of core values. And she just does not deviate from those core values whatsoever. But that being said, she has broken through some of the shell that she had around her. She's become less inhibited. She's kind of like blooming, if you will, late. And I think that applies to me also. I think that late in life, I've had the opportunity to bloom. I don't think I'm a different person at the age of 65 than I was at the age of 10. Now, obviously, I've matured and changed in outlooks and opinions and wisdom, and all that has changed in 55 years, of course. But the point I'm trying to make is I still think that I was, at the age of 10, I was just a pretty happy-go-lucky, curious, inquisitive, not very bright kid. And I think I'm the same way today. I think I'm curious and inquisitive. I'm not very bright, but and I have, I think, a very positive outlook on life. I think that a lot of people are born into circumstances that are tough. In other words, you can take this nice, bright, inquisitive, curious kid and put him into an environment that he has no control over, or she has no control over, whoever you're talking about, and they just have a life that is filled with challenges and obstacles and circumstances that are unfair and unkind and beyond their control. And over the years, life can beat them up. And by the time they reach their golden years, that's what they are. They are a tired, beat up, beat down human being who's lost the 10-year-old. And then on the other end of the spectrum, there are people that are born and nothing like that ever happens to them. Trust fund babies, maybe they were born with, millions of dollars and an annuity and a house, and they've never had to go through any kind of real struggles or challenges. The biggest decision they make is, what are they going to wear today, and are they going to make page 5 of the newspaper, and how are they going to look on Instagram. So they've got their own little set of worries, but there's two totally separate categories. And then there's the folks that fit right in the middle. So the social media question that you're giving me is interesting because via the social media, I've been able to express myself hopefully as candid as possible, as honestly as possible, and I've gotten a great deal of satisfaction from it. There was an opportunity one time. I have a friend named Jenny, and she has a little YouTube channel of her own called Miss V's Diary. And I think 5 or 6 months ago, time escapes me with this quarantine thing, but her kid fell out of a tree and broke her arm. And to be honest with you, I don't remember how I first heard about it. I think she sent May a message the same night, like a half hour after it happened. She contacted either May or me or Facebook or whatever, but I was made aware of this thing happening to her daughter, and she was in a pickle. And I know her personally as a human being, and I've never met her kid, but I've met her. She came out here for a visit, and we did a video together, and we went to Sicky Hor, her and her friend, and me and May, and Ian, and my friend Ian, and another, and his date, and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, it wasn't like she was a total stranger. And so she didn't have the financial resources available to get her kid even checked into the hospital, because that's just how things roll out here. If you're hurt and you need to go to the hospital, you pay. And if you don't pay, too bad. And I guess there's some sort of other avenue that you can take, but I don't know what it is. Anyway, long story short, I sent her some money like 20 minutes later to help, and it wasn't enough. It was just $50. And it was actually $50 that I didn't exactly have to give because it was getting towards that time of the month. But I talked it over with May, and we made that decision together, and we said, yeah, let's send her this money because we're okay. I mean, we just got to cut out the coffees or this or that. We can, in other words, we can give up some knucklehead stuff that we don't really need, and we can help her out. And then I think it was May's idea. She said, why don't we make a video about it? And so on my channel, we made a little 15-minute video, and we told folks about Jenny's dilemma. And I made it and I asked for money. I said, I'm asking for you guys to, if you can see your way fit, to help little Jenny out here with her kid. And I made it very clear, do not send me the money. Send it to her. I don't want to screw with it. I don't want to be involved. And 99% of that worked. I think one guy sent me $20 or something, which I still got sitting here. And for Jenny. Whenever she shows back up, won't she be surprised? Anyway, so long story short, enough people reached out and spread some love and sent her some funds to help her and her daughter. And she had more than enough money to cover the whole operation that her daughter had to have, the medication, the hospitalization, blah, blah, blah. And I found that to be not only gratifying, but it was quite an eye-opener as to the power that rests here with me and anybody else that is, I don't know, out there on social media. And so, you know, power corrupts or something like that. And so I thought, you know what, I need to be very careful with this because I don't want to let this turn into something that it was never intended to be. I just want it to be my little video diary. And so, and then it gave me an opportunity to share with people about Baby May. Baby May started a little channel, Baby May's Cooking and Adventure, and that's been well received. She's received great feedback. She's now monetized. She got monetized a lot faster than me because Google didn't like me for a long time. But anyway, so she's starting to see some income from that. And it's not a lot. Neither one of us make big money off of this, but that's not the point. The point is that she has grown to where she's being, like me, she's being rewarded for her work, if you want to call it that. We both treat this as a hobby and something fun to do. It was a lifesaver, if you want to know the truth, during the quarantine, because that's when everything went crazy. And then we were both just home all day anyway. And so we had all day to sit there and filly fart around with it and try to answer comments and pay attention to what was going on and just keep the ball rolling, if you will. And so now May has an income stream that I think will hopefully last for a long, long time, because her little channel just keeps getting better and better and better. And that's been an opportunity for people to, from the beginning, like Gary, to kind of, and they've commented, they go, wow, you've come a long way. She's starting to edit, something I'll never do. And she's starting to, you know, it takes a long time, not a long time, but it takes a number of times for May to accept change to some degree. And so I stay out of her channel as much as humanly possible, but I've made a few suggestions, and usually I have to make the suggestion 3 or 4 times before it sinks in. Now, if her girlfriend tells her the same suggestion, it's immediately accepted. But, you know, coming from me, you know, oh well. And then just a sidebar on that is we've been locked down a lot and we haven't been able to get out. But another big kick I get out of being on social media with May is that there is a degree of recognition when we go out. Every blue moon, someone will say, hey, old dog, you know. They'll be driving by on a motorcycle and I'll be driving by on my little gay scooter, and they'll go, yay, old dog, and we wave, and that's that. So, and then May's always breaking my balls, and she goes, oh, you're so famous. Oh, you're so famous. And so recently, I've told this before because this happened way back before COVID, but recently it happened again. We went out to look at some new apartments. And as we were approaching the apartments, another couple was coming our way. And the guy, I don't know this guy, but this guy sees me and he goes, hey, I like your channel. And I said, oh, thanks. And he came over and he said, my name is such and such, and this is my wife, so and so. And I said, nice to meet you, you know, nice to meet you. And May was over somewhere looking at a flower or something. And then both of them went, oh, look, it's Baby May. And they just left. And I looked over, and there they are. Just, you know, the guy's wanting to take a picture with her, and the wife and May are, you know, exchanging their phone numbers and Facebook and recipes, and I'm standing there like, hey, what happened to me? But it was awesome because we got done looking at the apartment. We got on the scooter and I said, oh, baby, you're so famous. See, what goes around comes around. So anyway, one thing that I'm really curious about, Gary, is what changes you've seen. One other thing, Gary's been grinding me to get a toaster oven for May and for her cooking show. And I just want you to tell you, pal, that it's been very difficult to try to do that because of the quarantine. But still keep your pants on. Gary's out in Africa, and I think his job, he's the guy that actually paints the stripes on the zebras, in case you were curious as to how that happened. So, yeah, I have found a great deal of satisfaction on the feedback that I get. And then I also am fascinated by the hate that I get. Because, you know, it's just me being me, and I'm just an old guy, and I'm here with baby May, and she's no spring chicken, come on. But I get called all these names. I'm a sexpat, I'm a pedophile, I'm an e-beggar, I'm a this, I'm a that. And when I first started getting those comments in the beginning of my little channel here, I used to get really pissed off, and I'd block the person and I'd delete the comment. It's like, there's no way, you know, I'm gonna let anybody see that. That's and now my attitude has matured towards that. And I say to myself, you know, I don't really care. As long as the comment meets the qualifications, hang in there. As long as it meets the qualification, if it's not vulgar, like using a bunch of F-bombs or graphic sexual comments, as long as it doesn't involve May or a reference to her or her anatomy or whatever, and as long as it doesn't reflect poorly on a guest that I've had on the show, if it's directed at me, and they call me all these names and make all these assumptions and whatnot, more often than not, I pin their comment. If you understand what pin means that I can take their comment, and if I pin it, it puts it at the top of the comments. That was something I used to get all upset about and delete, and now it's like, you know what? I want this to be reality. People are watching me, and if I just put out all these fluffy, you know, congratulatory type of sweet comments that people make, which is the majority, then no one's getting the real picture. And I want you, as a viewer, to get the real picture. So I'll put that comment up there, and I'll make sure that it's got a light on it, because it's reality, you know? It's what happens. That's what happens in social media. I made an observation years ago about people, and this has been validated by other people that I really respect, that are a lot smarter than me, which is most people. And that's this. I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but I have, on occasion, not often, but on occasion, I have met a guy for the first time. And usually it's at work. It was at work when I was working. And he would ask me a question. And I would answer his question to the best of my ability. And it didn't seem to matter what I said. The next words out of his mouth were, "You're lying. You're a liar. I don't believe that. I don't think you're telling me the truth." I came to the conclusion very quickly when I encounter people like that, is that when they do that, it's because they are liars. And so whenever, and they're really aware of that trait that they have. And therefore, since they are liars on almost anything that they do or say, then they assume everybody else is lying. And I've ran that by a couple of people, and they say, yeah, I've noticed that too. And these people, like I say, are far and few between. They're maybe 5% of the population. But So I don't take it personally when the guy, I just know he's projecting on me his own inadequacy or hang-up. Same thing with the sexpat and the e-beg and the pedophile and I'm dating my granddaughter comments. These guys that say that kind of stuff are probably just that. They probably are a pedophile or a sexpat or a needy person or filled with envy or jealousy or inadequacy. And when they make those comments, they're really not talking about me. They're talking about themselves. And they're projecting that on me because I'm a target. I'm out here. If you've ever noticed, these guys that make these comments, or what I've noticed is these people that make these comments very rarely use their own name, never have a picture of themselves up there. They're hiding, you know, my name's Paul McGill, and this is how old I am, and this is where I live. I've never used any other name except for the Old Dog New Tricks, which is just kind of a joke, I guess. I don't know where that came from. I just kind of thought it was descriptive of me when I made the channel. I'm an old dog and I'm trying to learn new tricks. So that's kind of that. Here we go, going on 26 minutes already. I try to keep these puppies short. So anyway, that's kind of the effect that social media has had on me. I have felt a growth. I have felt a maturity. I have felt satisfaction. I feel that I'm making a contribution at times. And at the end of the day, though, I'm still really a selfish guy. And I really just make these videos for me. And so I got something to look at. And if you cats want to come along for the ride, I think that's cool. I've seen humanity at its finest through social media. I'll end on that. I shared a couple of stories about May's family. They had some deaths in the family, and some guys reached out and showed their love on that, and we were able to make a change. We were able to make a positive change for people that were unable to do it for themselves. We were able to help the helpless, if you will, through this, through you. Not me personally, but I was just the catalyst, if you will. And we've taken some shit about it because it deals with, you know, money, and then I did another video about God, and that got all kinds of hoopla. And I don't care, because at the end of the day, I want to be me. I don't want to pretend to be somebody else. And if you like what you see, then keep on watching. Or if you don't. What was a trip was I did my very first live stream yesterday with Geo, and after 3 attempts because I kept screwing it up. I kept pushing the wrong buttons. Poor Geo. He's like, no, dude, you gotta go to YouTube, not that. You gotta, no, Paul, you gotta go to Facebook. You gotta, you know. So anyway, after 2 failed attempts, we got online, and then Geo was hanging out with me he was gonna walk, you know, he was gonna hold my hand through the live stream. And he was on for a total of 15 minutes, and then he had a brownout and lost all of his power, and it was just me. and so at the end of I just checked, there's a thing called analytics on YouTube, and what I got a kick out of was I was just glancing through the analytics on different videos, and on the live stream it said -5 subscribers. So 5 people watched me live and said, I hate this guy, and left. So I got a kick out of that too. Sayonara. I guess you're off to bigger and better things, boys and girls. So anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble on. Another live stream I think I'll do every blue moon. I don't know. I guess when the mood strikes, if I've got something to say. Baby May's really excited about doing a live stream. I don't know why, but she just thinks it's the cat's meow. And I was like, yeah, sure. And she wants me to do it with her. And so I think tomorrow morning she's going to go on her channel and do a live stream, but no promises because God knows what might go wrong. Anyway, that's it. If you have questions, comments, Gary, let me know what you think. Maybe you can make a video and you can send it to me, buddy, and let me know what changes you have seen. Okay? Till next time. See you guys.